And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. Start, 2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Welcome to the Launchpad. I'm your host, Harry Washington. And for those who just joined us, this show is sponsored by Pursuing a Dream Corporation. Pursuing a Dream Corporation is a nonprofit organization that encourages students to pursue degrees and careers in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. And today's segment is going to focus on STEM occupations. For those of you unfamiliar with STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, math. And today we're joined by Mr. Mark Otto of the American Statistical Association. Mr. Otto, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, give our viewers an idea. What's the mission of the American Statistical Association, and how long has it been in existence?
Well, we actually had our birthday this year, our 175th. We're the second oldest learned society in the U.S. I actually want to talk about two organizations, the American Statistical Association, which is a national and international organization. It has 19,000 members in 90 countries, and they promote statistics, develop sound statistical practice, and then the Washington Statistical Society is the most active local chapter of the American Statistical Association, and we do seminars, workshops, a lot of stuff to network, professional development, but we also have something we work with the American Statistical Association on statistical education, trying to bring up the next generation of statisticians and also promote statistical literacy.
Now, your membership base, is it primarily all professionals, or are there some people that are non-professionals?
We have professionals, and we also have teachers and stuff that we've given honorary memberships to or join on their own.
Now, in college, I wasn't great at statistics, but obviously you are. What influenced you to pursue a career in statistics? Statistics, I'm sorry.
You have to say that fast.
Right, exactly.
I got in by chance. I grew up not wanting to be an engineer like my father, and I played with erector sets. I sort of picked up his interest in figuring things out. My friends and we lived by the ocean, and I bought scuba lessons with them. When I got into the University of California at Davis, I finally ended up in biology. I wangled a job studying Lake Tahoe and counting periphyte and paraffine. I've dove in Lake Tahoe every month of the year.
Wow, that should be exciting.
Yeah, and so what got me was every study we worked on involved some sort of statistical analysis. And then I moved and went to North Carolina State. I was interested in population ecology, but my application was held up. I took statistics while I was waiting, and Ken Pollock, a well-known wildlife statistician, asked if I wanted to join a better statistics program at NC State. So I became his first graduate student. Surprising he had any more, but I got through that and then got a job at the Census Bureau and was helped by statisticians there, Bill Bell and Dave Finley, learn statistical research and how to do good presentations, practicing them a lot. And now I work for the Fish and Wildlife Service on migratory bird research.
Now, how much of your job entails using statistics?
Almost all of it. A lot of it involves computer programming and developing those analysis and data management, but it all goes to the point of developing some sort of statistical results for a study.
Now, explain to our viewers, how are statistics important?
Well, you can work, statistics is basically problem solving. You can use it in any field. It's intimately tied to the scientific process. So we work with anybody, economists, finances, I work with wildlife biologists,
Okay.
smart and interesting people. I don't do the same thing every day. And how you validate your results is done by statistics.
Okay.
So that's where it's important. Google and other tech companies will hire truckloads of statisticians.
Okay.
Their search engine is all statistical based. Their translator isn't based on grammar rules to go between one language and another. It's statistics.
So there's plenty of opportunities for students to engage careers in statistics.
Yes, there's lots of opportunities, and there's a great demand for it. 190,000 jobs with quantitative skills are going to be open in the next 4 years. So
Wow.
there's long-term demand for that.
Now the ASA seems to be a membership-driven organization, but how does it kind of further, and you mentioned it earlier, how does it further the students' interest in education?
We have an education department. Both of them are professional organizations, so their main goal is supporting statisticians and advocating for the use of sound statistics.
Okay.
But we also have an education component. In the Washington Statistical Society, we do career talks. We'll go in and do experiments in the school, mostly with M&Ms.
Okay.
Great motivational factor. I hope Michelle Obama will forgive me. And we judge science fairs and give special prizes for statistics and science fair projects.
Now, in terms of your experience in doing outreach work, what has been the biggest way to tie math into learning, or making math into fun? How have you been able to do it?
I think one of the best ways is to start early and do more statistics. How could I say anything else? Students at an early age could test their beliefs out doing statistical summaries.
Okay.
I taught a module in a 6th grade class, one session where I had them do surveys on their classmates, and they wanted to know about whether how early their other students got up and how much TV they watched during the week. And the results were astounding.
So what was the results? Share the results.
Oh, some kids were getting up at 4:30 in the morning and going to all their brothers and sisters' schools before they got to theirs. And several kids watched 30 hours of TV a week.
Wow.
It was March Madness, though.
So you forgive them.
That's right.
But the other component you talk about in terms of mentorship, speak on that.
Well, you could look up this. I'll put up the links for the Washington Statistical Society website, but we also mentor students that are interested in statistics or want to pursue a career. And like we've worked with classrooms. Actually, there was one Latino classroom that was interested in racial prejudice and job discrimination. And we ended up doing a statistical study that they could have taken to court. They weren't really interested in statistics, but by the end, they were so interested in the problem, they were hooked on what helped them get the results they wanted.
Now, what's the youngest age group that your organizations work with?
Actually, there's a lot more statistics being woven into the new core curriculum, and that starts from kindergarten on. We have a poster competition where it's kindergarten through 12th, and I hate to say it, but I think the quality is pretty even throughout the grades.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
We also have several other contests that I can put links up for you.
How can parents and educators, we always ask all guests this, how can parents and educators motivate students to become more interested in math? Well,
I think I talked about it. Statistics allows you to work on the problems that you're interested. I had a high school math professor give me a book called What is Mathematics before I graduated, and that book treated math as more discovery, not just reworking old problems. For statistics, there's a nice, short, funny book called How to Lie with Statistics by Darrell Huff.
Oh, wow.
And it's sneakily informative, but it's a fun book to read. So that could give parents some ideas.
Or even, I mean, when I think of statistics, I'm thinking of, you know, you look at professional sports, how they keep averages of how many points are scored, how many minutes.
That's right. There are statistical jobs in sports. Remember the movie Moneyball?
Yes.
That
yes.
was all statistics.
Exactly. And even you look at, in terms of Metro, organizations like Metro who may use statistics in terms of
optimal
ridership.
ride schedules and
exactly.
things like that. They have to get the internet. Economics, the housing data and everything
Exactly.
economists use to see if we're coming out of the recession is all based on statistical surveys done by the government. I work for part of that.
Right.
Census Bureau, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and Office of Budget and Management even decides what surveys are worth the effort throughout the whole government.
Are there any current initiatives that the ASA is planning?
They have a lot of educational initiatives, the meeting within a meeting, which helps teachers teach better statistics.
Okay.
And we also have the census in the schools, which is and we can provide information on the links rather than just going into that here.
No problem, no problem. I would like to thank our guest, Mr. Otto. Remember, stats is not just used in one area, it's used in multiple areas. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Launchpad. I'm your host, Harry Washington, and today we're joined by Mr. Dunstan McCauley of ASHRAE, here to speak more about careers related to the areas of heating, venting, and air conditioning. Welcome to the show, Mr. McCauley.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now, give our audience members an idea. What's the mission of ASHRAE?
ASHRAE's mission is to promote the science of heating, air conditioning, refrigerating, engineering, as well as to promote a sustainable world.
Okay. And also, this organization has been in existence for how long?
It's been in existence. It's the merger of two societies, the American Society of Heating and Ventilating Engineers, which was formed in 1894, and the American Society of Refrigerating Engineers, which was formed in 1904. In 1954, the American Society of Heating and Ventilating Engineers rebranded itself the American Society of Heating, Air Conditioning, and Ventilating Engineers. And in 1959, the two organizations merged to form the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers. That name stayed in existence until 2012 with the influx of a lot of international members into the society. We decided to drop the official name American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers and just go by ASHRAE. So now our official name is ASHRAE.
Excellent. Now, what influenced your interest in the areas of heating, venting, and air conditioning? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer by trade. I've always been interested in engineering. My father was an electrical engineer, and working with him and being interested in engineering, I always wanted to do engineering, and I settled on mechanical engineering because I was really interested in how power was generated. And that first part of the power cycle is all mechanical engineering. When I was in school, I started to take more classes. They have a lot of similar classes. The thermodynamics classes and a lot of heat transfer classes are very similar between power production, the power side, as well as the building services side, or HVAC side, heating, ventilating, air conditioning side. And as I got more into my program, I became very interested in energy efficiency and sustainability. Before sustainability was the
trend.
The trend it is now. And I saw a lot of promise in air conditioning buildings and designing systems for buildings and the opportunity to be efficient. So I chose the career of going into heating, ventilating, and air conditioning engineering.
Now, you explained there was a difference between the two programs. What's the difference?
Well, the difference, the power cycle, where the cycle of the steps to generate power is the exact opposite of what you use on an HVAC cycle. So a refrigeration cycle, cooling is the exact opposite cycle. So it's sort of just the opposite of producing power. The cycles are very similar. It's just in opposite direction.
No, but in terms of the training, how's the training different for in that field of heating, venting, and air conditioning?
Oh, the training is actually versus focusing on thermodynamics and power cycle.
Right.
The training is essentially the same.
Okay.
It's you take the same classes.
Wow.
As well, it's the same program. Looking at the heat transfer, the fluid dynamics, and so it's essentially the same program.
Okay.
And it's easy to transition from one to another once you complete your program.
Now, generally, how much training does someone need if they're entering the field of heating, venting, and air conditioning? How much training would someone need?
It varies. It varies. When you look at ASHRAE is composed of technical individuals as well as non-technical.
Okay.
So there are engineers, there's people who are in marketing. As long as you are in the business of heating, ventilating, air conditioning engineers, you can become involved in ASHRAE.
Okay.
So when you look at our members, we have engineers, we have contractors who've gone through trade schools.
Excellent.
As well. So to become involved in the field, you don't necessarily need to have an engineering degree.
Okay.
But if you do go that route, the program is roughly about 4 to 5 years, depending on the university.
Okay. And what is ASHRAE's interest in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math?
Well, engineering is the more obvious connection.
Right.
But obviously, science and math forms the basis of engineering. And as ASHRAE, we've realized that we have to start promoting STEM and STEM programs at an early age so that we can continue to grow as a society. So we have become more active in that process, as well as working with other organizations to promote STEM education and develop STEM programs. For example, ASHRAE has focused a lot on the Future Cities project, which is a program that's sponsored by several other engineering societies, where middle school kids will design a city of the future.
Wow.
And the testing, so it's a national competition. And so there are regional competitions across the nation, and the regional winners come to the Washington, D.C. during Engineers Week, and the judging was last Sunday. So that, and ASHRAE has been a big sponsor of this program, as well as donated several awards for some of the winners.
Now, has ASHRAE done any collaboration with other organizations as it relates to STEM or education?
Well, the Future Cities, my chapter, which is the National Capital Chapter, which is essentially the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, has collaborated with the other engineering societies in this area to host Discovery Engineering Family Day, which is going to be the 22nd of February. And so we sponsor this event every year, and we participate. So it's essentially an event where elementary and middle school kids can come and learn about engineering. And all the different societies put on various experiments showing the value of engineering and science and technology.
Now, what percentage of minorities and women are in the fields of heating, ventilating, and air conditioning?
It's unfortunately, those numbers are not easily available, but it's a growing field. ASHRAE is growing on the international scene. Now, its fastest growing member base are our international members, especially in the Far East, some in the Middle East, as well as on the continent of Africa as well. So where we've seen the biggest growth in the last 5 years has been with our international members. So ASHRAE is becoming more diversified as we move forward. For our chapter, which is generally one of the largest chapters of ASHRAE, I would say we're about 20 to 30% minority and women. So when we have a pretty good support, active support from women. We've had several presidents several chapter presidents who have been women, and when you look at our board of governors, it's about nearly 50% women. So we've been very active in encouraging more women and more minorities to be active in the chapter.
Yeah, I mean, because just from this interview, you've given me a totally different perspective of just heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. But I mean, how can parents get their students more interested in this area?
Well, for one thing, like the Discovery Engineering Family Day, that's a good opportunity to get for parents to get involved, to get the children involved. Just contact the chapter. We have several members who, during Engineers Week, will go out to schools to speak. I've done that in the past, and I've hosted schools at my office just to go through what we go through on a daily basis, what's the daily life of an engineer is, and several members are always interested. So contacting the chapter, we always welcome that, and always looking for opportunities where we can get involved to help the local community. Excellent.
Now, how can people find or viewers find your organization?
We have a pretty good web presence. The national organization is ASHRAE.org, which is spelled ASHRAE.org. Our local chapter is NCCASHRAE.org. And again, it's NCCASHRAE.org.
And what about Facebook?
We have our national organization has a Facebook page, which is ASHRAE. You can search for ASHRAE on Facebook. Our local chapter, we are in the process of developing our social media. We've revamped our website, so we have this process of improving our web presence. So in the last few years, we revamped the website, and our next goal will be Facebook and Twitter, as well as LinkedIn, as well as the other social media outlets.
Any final words for our viewers?
Well, first, I'd like to thank you for inviting ASHRAE to participate, and we strongly support STEM. We have several different programs. We have several different scholarship programs that students who are interested in the sciences of heating, ventilating, and air conditioning can apply for. For minorities as well as for women. For example, in 2012, we lost Lynn Bellinger, who was the first female president of ASHRAE, and there's been a scholarship that's been established in her name for women in the sciences of engineering, in the sciences of heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. It's a $5,000 scholarship. So that's one opportunity for members who are interested in the field. And we also have a student design competition where colleges and universities can participate in. It's a national competition, and it's generally focused on sustainability and some topic around heating, ventilating, air conditioning engineering. So if you're in school and you're interested, this is an avenue to get more information, more involved. And the chapter's always willing, all the chapters are always willing to come out to schools or assist any school at any level.
Now, in terms of the last program that you mentioned, what's the age that you're seeking?
Oh, for the Discover Engineering Day.
Yes.
It's open. We've seen anywhere from 5-6-year-old kids up to teenagers in high school, 17 and so forth. So it's a rewarding program. I've done it just about every year for the last 10 years.
Okay.
And it's such a rewarding program when you talk to the kids and you start to show them the experiments and they start to get it. And you just see the minds working as they start trying different iterations to improve their experiments and so forth. And they all walk away, I think, more informed about the sciences and math.
Excellent. Excellent. We'd like to thank our guests today. Again, to learn more about them, view the credits, or even go to their website. Remember, well, also, before we let you go, the organization will be having a Career Choice STEM Bonanza on March the 1st at the ARC in Washington, D.C. To learn more about that program, go to our website or even follow us on Facebook. Thanks again for joining us.